viewers, these are live visuals coming in from Germany, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is being welcomed by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at Munich. This is as part of his presence there for the G7 summit. And the day one of that is over, and now there are a number of events that are planned also in Germany, and the Prime Minister is going to be taking part. And these are the visuals that have just come in right now, fresh to the newsroom of the Prime Minister in Munich. And there he is, meeting with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. They've had back-to-back meetings in just the space of a few months now, as the G7 this time meets, and India is also present there, of course. India has a big role to play in the deliberations, and with the Ukraine-Russia war and resulting supply chain issues, with fuel, gas being some of the key topics, with food, wheat, and other such issues being discussed, India has a very important role to play. And very soon we will hear the Prime Minister also taking part in a key program in Munich, that is a plenary session on the topic, and I quote, investing in a better future, climate, energy and health. And these are some of the expectations that the G7 is likely to deliberate upon: the Russia-Ukraine war, of course, the resulting supply chain issues, food security for the world, and also climate change. At least that is what the German Chancellor had said a few days ago when he was asked about his priorities for this key meeting of this multilateral forum that is taking place. India is, of course, also present, and we are now being joined by Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, if I can come to you, would you tell us a little more about India and India's significance with regards to what's going on at the G7?
Well, Ankit, India is a special invitee this year at the G7 summit, and the pictures we see are of Prime Minister being welcomed by Chancellor Olaf Scholz at the venue of the summit on the outskirts of Munich, actually about an hour and a half down south of Munich. And these are important pictures underscoring the importance India is attached now in global affairs, given the fact that G7 has invited only 5 other nations based on their importance or relevance to the topics that are being discussed. Apart from India, it's South Africa, Indonesia, Argentina, and Senegal. I think Prime Minister would be participating in about 7 sessions of G7. 2 are very important, which are on climate change and on food security. On both, India is a big contributor. Remember that despite the ongoing war in Europe, because of about 50 lakh tons of supplies by India, despite an export ban, there has been a lot of stability insofar as food supplies around the world are concerned. We are the second largest producer of wheat in the world and a substantial supplier of rice, and that's why I think our contribution gains salience. Apart from that, Ankit, our role in technology, our role in the manner in which we contributed to the pandemic management, not just within India, but globally, by way of vaccine supplies, the fact that we were amongst the half a dozen odd nations that could get our own vaccines going, and not just for ourselves, but for the rest of the world. I think the responsibility and the spirit of camaraderie with which we have conducted ourselves in the Committee of Nations has been acknowledged under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and that's why this is the 3rd time he is a special invitee at G7. The first was in 2019 in France, the second was in 2021 in the UK, and now in 2022, the German Chancellor again inviting India. Remember, it's not just about money, it's not about size of economy, because if that had been the case, even the Chinese could have been invited, but that's not the case. India has a special relevance because of our conduct and the moral leadership that we have provided to the world during the pandemic period. I think so. That's why it's relevant. Also, on the issue of climate change, also the responsibility with which we have conducted ourselves, the Modi government, for example, fast-tracking all the targets that have been set, and the spirit of equity with which we have participated in the global affairs on the issue of climate change. I think that's getting acknowledged, and that's why in these pictures we see the warmth with which Prime Minister is being received. Also, Ankit, it has to be said, given the invite that Prime Minister got and the reception that he has been getting since yesterday. For example, the Bavarian band, which welcomed him at the Munich airport since 2015 only, Barack Obama was one who was given that. And in fact, in the G7 summit also, about 20-odd world leaders, but Prime Minister Modi being extended that. So I think importance of India getting highlighted in these pictures, essentially.
No doubt, Abhishek Kapoor sharing key details of what is expected as Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends the G7. We'll be tracking this very closely. Apart from the G7, there are also a number of bilaterals to be held with the Prime Minister of Canada, with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. So a lot of meetings coming up, and we'll be tracking the Prime Minister's visit to Germany very closely. Stay with us on Republic. We'll be back after a short break.